Hey, thanks for joining me in the Starter Fort series, where we're going to be building a basic fort in Dwarf Fortress. More or less self-sustaining. Let's see how far we get before the fun overtakes us. I'm going to first start off with some basic controls. You can use the WASD keys to move the screen up, down, left, right, kind of like this. The screen kind of jumps. It's just one of those Dwarf Fortress fun things. If you want, you can also hold down the middle mouse button and drag, and it'll move your screen a little bit smoother. Let me hide these quickly. Scrolling up moves the elevation. If you keep an eye out in the corner here, you'll see the elevation goes up 29, and we see some of the trees. 30, and we see more of the trees. 31, 32, and so on. Scrolling down allows us to go down elevations until we're underground. And if you ever get lost, you can press F1. That'll take you back to your starting area. This can be rebound at a later stage. Oh, one last thing. You can press E and C instead of scrolling your mouse wheel to go up and down elevations. So E will go up and C will go down. You will see here are all our dwarves. You can go down here, click the information menu or hotkey U. I usually use the hotkeys. If you see me open a menu, I'll try and remember to click it. If you see me open a menu, I'm probably using a hotkey. Here are our dwarves. This is just a basic set of starter dwarves. And then you can click on the magnifying glass, which will provide you more information about that dwarf. I'm not going to go too much into detail, but there's a lot of information here, including the relationships they have, their personality, their values, each dwarf's preferences, what the dwarf needs. So if the dwarf is unhappy, you're able to figure out what kind of things it likes. This is a very useful menu. Oftentimes there are other things that show up on the map that'll show up in the other. Your pets and livestock will be here, and any dead and missing dwarves. We'll be going over the menus more later, but I do want to show one useful one, which I like to do in the beginning, which is the labor menu, which is opened up with Y, or you can click the little hammer there. And this is where you assign a lot of your workers. So there's certain things I like to do. In the beginning, I like to assign another miner. Mining is quite important in the beginning. And your default starts with multiple pickaxes. And one quick tip, don't assign miners and woodcutters to the same person, because then every time they have to mine or chop wood, they have to go pick up other tools and so on. Hunters we can leave off. We've got a fisher dwarf who will go down to the river and do some fishing. I think that's fine for now. I like to assign one planter. The reason for this is your dwarfs get higher skill, and as they get higher skilled at a task, they perform that task better and faster, and they gain enjoyment out of that task more. I like to set an engraver. Usually this is fine. The engraving doesn't require any special tools, and that's essentially all I like to do in the beginning. Let's do a little bit of mining. To mine, there's a tool here, hotkey is M, you hit M, and that'll mine on the current level you're in. I like to mine into a hill close by. Before we do that, let's maybe have a quick look around the area. So I see we're kind of like midway up a hill, pretty interesting. We could go down a little bit and mine there. Let's see what rock we have here. Loamy sand, that's good because that means we'll be able to farm in here. I think I am going to go down a few Z levels and mine here. I kind of like my entrance to be straight. This will give us a lot of building area. There's plenty of building area because you can mine down a bunch of Z levels. And down here we have our river, which is frozen at the moment. Early spring, so it hasn't thawed yet. This might be a little bit of a challenge. Frozen water can't be fished, can't be used for wells, etc. But we picked a map with the aquifer, so we will get our water from aquifer. Dwarves in any case don't really need water, they just need alcohol. Only dwarves which are sick and in hospital drink water. True story. So I'm going to go down 2 Z levels to level 26, where I've got a nice flat wall here. I'm going to pick my mining tool and I'm going to zoom in. Oh, I should probably cover that. So you can zoom in by holding down control and rolling the mouse wheel up and down. Okay, I've selected my mining tool. I know I've selected my mining tool because the grid appears, and I'm going to mine into this hill. Let's mine 4 wide. We can defend that quite nicely at a later stage if required. The game is paused right now. You press spacebar to pause or unpause the game. And yeah, I'm going to hit spacebar and the dwarves are going to start doing their thing. The first thing you want to do is, oh, the dwarves have already started mining. This is quite light, loamy sandstone, which is good. The first thing you want to do is set up a bit of a stockpile indoors. You don't want any Kias stealing your things. And you want to chop down some trees. Good way to annoy the elves, but also one of the only ways to get beds. A little tip, try and avoid chopping trees up at a Z level above where you're mining. This is fine, but if you chop this tree down, there'll be a hole at this Z level, which means fun can get in through the hole. We're going to designate to chop down some trees. That's this icon or hotkey L. And let's go down here. I'm gonna get a few trees in the beginning. Next, I'm going to set up a specific stockpile outside for my trees. This is probably a little too small. I'm going to go back to this Z level for now. Later on, we'll be moving all of this indoors. The way you create a stockpile is you hit this key, you press the stockpile key, and then you click and drag how you want, and you click accept. That's your stockpile. At the moment, the stockpile is set. It will accept nothing. I want it to accept wood. And I'm going to press spacebar to unpause, and you'll see the dwarf will start running and he'll start chopping wood. Hopefully the tree doesn't fall on him. Okay. Survived. Sometimes when the logs fall into the trees fall on the dwarves and the dwarves get hurt. Okay. You can press F1 at any point in time to jump to the wagon, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to remap that to the entrance to my fort. I like to center it quite nicely like this. And then you press the hotkey and you press this button here. So this remaps, and I'm going to rename it to entryway. There we go. The dwarves have finished mining. I'm going to mine a little bit more in. This mining is quite fast because loamy sandwall is pretty soft. I'm going to create stairs. The way you create stairs, you press the mine button and you select the stairwell. With stairs at the elevation where you want to go down, you just click and drag a box like this, and then you just scroll your mouse wheel down. And so I'm scrolling to, let's go to elevation 15. I kind of just went down what feels good. And I'm going to let the dwarves finish. In the beginning, you might see that your miners are doing other tasks. So you can go to the labor menu, and if you click here, you'll tell the miners only do the things you're assigned. And the miners should go back to mining, which is perfect. In the beginning, you want your miners to mine mostly red sand, more clay. I'm kind of following down. Oh, I've got some coal. Great. We're hitting some hard rock now. This is fantastic. Let's go down a little bit more. And the dwarves keep going down, deeper and deeper. Okay, at elevation 15, I'm going to do one more small thing. I like to build a little bit of a corridor. So the reason for this, it makes things easier to defend. If something wants to break into your fort, it has to come in through the front entrance or F1. If I press F1, it'll jump me here. So it has to come through your front entrance, and then it will have to come down these stairs and down this corridor. Later on, we can build a barracks here and have some military groups training. I'm going to jump back to the top, and over here I'm going to create our first workshop. So to create workshops, you go to the build or shortcut B, and then workshop or hotkey O. And I am going to create a carpenter, and I'm going to use, this is the material, and I'm going to use the, actually I'm going to use some rock. It's going to take a little bit longer to hold it here. But we don't have that many trees. Or, we do have trees. They're just a bit of a way away. Trees are useful for making beds. Let's chop down a few more trees before I'm sure the owls won't miss these ones. There we go. We go back. I want to scroll up to our starting area and just checking how much wood we have here. Not too bad, not too bad. How is this going? Okay, and we've dug out our corridor, which we can later fill with amazing traps, and we're gonna dig just 2 or 3 more elevations down. And this is where we're gonna put our main stockpile. Nice deep underground, safe from the Kias, hopefully. And I'm gonna do something, just like a nice big stockpile. Or nice big area for stockpile in this granite wall. Here is where I'm going to set my second shortcut. So again, I press here and now on this one, and I'm going to name it main stockpile. We'll let the dwarves dig it out. I see we found some rough, smoky quartz. I see we found some gems. Now that this workshop is done, I'm going to queue up some quick beds. I'm going to queue up 7 of them. For now, we're going to do manual queuing. Later on, I'll show how to do this via orders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. I'm going to press F2, jump to the stockpile, see how the progress is. Press F1, back up. It's raining. Dwarves are going to start getting grumpy. They don't like being in rain. One more important thing I almost forgot. A zone for your animals. So a lot of animals won't eat unless they're pastured. So you open up the zones menu, either with the hotkey Z or the button. Don't need to read that. And you select pen and pasture. You make it doesn't have to be too big. Later on, we're going to bring them inside, but not. We can't do that yet, otherwise they will starve. Once you have your zone created, you click the little plus here, and you assign all the animals, kind of which need to eat grass, I guess. Dogs and cats don't need to be pastured. We don't need to worry about that. Cats are very useful. They kill the pests in your fort. Press F2 again to jump to the main stockpile to see the progress. Okay, this is about enough for now. So I'm going to let them keep mining, but I'm going to create a stockpile so I can start bringing things inside. I don't want any Kias to steal my things. So press the hotkey P or click there, click the stockpile, and then you can expand it. Kind of something like this for now. Click accept. And in this stockpile, I'm going to go, I want all, but I'm going to go custom. So I don't want any wood. So I click on the wood option and I click none. And I don't want any stone. And I click none. No, none. This will make sure that we don't get any wood or any stone in the stockpile. I'll have separate stockpiles for stone closer to where the crafting is happening. And wood for now will be kept above, close to the wood workshop. Later on, it will also be moved inside. But it's fine for now like this. So if I unpause now and I jump back to the top with F1, I'm going to scroll 2Z levels. This is where our wagon is. Our dwarves should start unloading the wagons and carrying the goods to the stockpile. If you click in the wagon, you can see all of the things that we have. F1 back again to the entrance, see how the beds are going. Hey, we've got 4 beds already. That's brilliant. Good job. F2 back to the stockpile. There we go. They've completed the work. So I'm now going to extend this stockpile. You click repaint here, and then you can just click and drag it how you want to extend the stockpile. And when you're done, don't forget to click accept. One thing I didn't cover off. If you're in a menu like this, you close the menu with a right click. I don't actually want the seeds in here. I'm going to have the seeds to the top. The beauty of this loamy sand cavern floor is that we can actually grow food on here. Not a problem yet. So now that the stockpile is done, we're gonna go a little bit further down. So I can select my mining tool, select the click and drag it, and scroll down. This will be the main stockpile. Underneath the stockpile, this is where I'm going to build most of my crafting, and then underneath that is where I like to build my initial bedrooms. So I kind of drop 2 Z levels under the main stockpile. This is just a preference. Yeah, it works pretty well for me. There we go. I'm going to mine out a corridor, and I'm going to mine out a little room for a dormitory for now. Later on, we'll give the dwarves their own private bedrooms, but initially, I think a dormitory will be fine. I'm also now going to go back to the labor menu. In the beginning, you have a few dwarves. It's important to do a little bit of micromanagement on their work, but over time, as you get more dwarves, it becomes less critical to micromanage. Marble, beautiful. I've got some red zircons. Nice. I'm going to do one more thing, which is place the beds. First, build the furniture in a carpenter's workshop. You manufacture it. Then if I go back to, I'm going to jump back to the main stockpile. Again, I'm using F1, F2 that I've mapped. Scroll down 1, scroll down 2. And now you have to essentially place the furniture. So you do that by pressing the B key, then F for furniture, and then you've got the beds here. So we've built 7 beds, so I should be able to place it 7 times. To make life easier for yourself, for certain things, you might want to say keep building after placement, use closest material, and I'm going to place 7 beds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, that one's probably being built right now. 7. Learning the shortcuts is pretty useful. For example, if I want to place a bed, it's just BFB, and I'm ready to place the bed. And then the final bit after placing the beds, I'm going to assign this as a dormitory. You click on the zones or press Z, and there should be a dormitory option right there. Just click and drag it. There we go. So we've got our dormitory. The dwarves will come in and sleep here. If I press F2, I'm back in my main stockpile. See how the loading is going. Okay, they're offloading things. Great. If I press stocks, we can see more or less how much stock we have. These aren't accurate numbers at the moment because we don't have a bookkeeper. We'll do that at a later stage. But we've got 80 food. We've got some fish. We've got some plants. So for now, it's okay. The drinks, it's getting a bit low, but we'll cover that off next. We covered off the basic navigation, how to scroll up, how to scroll down, the labor menu, how to assign different dwarves to different labor, how to make sure that how to tell them to only do that specific labor. We did some basic mining. We went down a bunch of Z levels. If I scroll down here, we set up a workshop. We made a few beds and we assigned the dormitory. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see how to embark, how to pick locations, especially for your first forts, you would want to pick more tame, stable locations. Feel free to have a look at my previous video. Otherwise, thanks. Cheers.